Alright guys, what's going on? Just wanted to do a quick update. I have been doing some applications this week, and I have had responses from 3 companies. So I just wanted to kind of go over how the responses were, what's, the update of each company that I've applied for, and give you guys kind of the rundown on that. The first company that I really wanted to become a part of is Bennett. I really wanted to get signed on with them, and they were kind of like my top priority when it, came to, applications and stuff like that. So I am sad to say that I got the Florida Blues leather, which is what I call it. Basically what that means is if you live in the state of Florida, you are going to run into this problem. A lot of companies do not hire drivers out of the state of Florida. Now, with Bennett, I don't know if that's like a permanent thing, if that's like a temporary thing, if they're just so overwhelmed with drivers, they just don't have enough freight to go down there. I don't know, okay? But you are going to run into this problem quite often, and it sucks. I'm very sad, very disappointed, but it is what it is. So the next company I want to get with is Synergy. I've heard very good things about Synergy. Actually, everyone that I've spoken to that either works at the office or is a driver with Synergy, they seem to really like the company. The company seems to be pretty professional, but they're smaller, which is something I like as well. I like the fact that I can look at the load board. That's very important for me. I don't want a dispatcher telling me where I can and can't go. As a contractor, that's not how it's supposed to work, in my opinion. So yeah, that's a very important part for me, is to be able to see the load board, be able to pick where I want to go, and see what's available, that kind of thing, and just call my dispatcher, hey, can I get this load, and be done with it. Sorry about that background there a minute ago. I didn't realize it was quite as busy behind me, so it's a little distracting. I kind of got like shiny object syndrome and just stared at the screen for like 5 minutes. But anyway, so Synergy, I filled out an application with them, and I waited a couple days. I didn't hear anything, so I decided to call a couple times. I still didn't hear back. I went to one of the forums. I was like, hey, is there a recruiter that could call me? And the recruiting manager actually called me, and they are swamped, guys. They are they're getting hammered with new drivers right now because of the rates and everything like that. So they are behind on their processing. The person I spoke with, he was very nice. He looked over my my application really quick. He said everything looks good. It's just going to take a few days before we start to process your application. He explained the situation of, they're still doing in-person orientation. And, with the COVID thing, they can't they can't max out the room like they were, and it's just a mess for them. So if you guys are trying to get with Synergy right now, just be patient with them. Like I said, they are smaller, and they are just getting absolutely hammered with new drivers right now. So I told them that is totally fine. That's, there's no worries. Just let me know when you get to me, that kind of thing. Like, there's no rush. I'm not going to be a jerk or anything like that. So, but yeah, so Synergy is on the board. It's just going to take a couple weeks before they get me processed, and get me into the system. So we're still waiting on them. And the last company that I applied for, I wasn't planning on applying for. I was a little apprehensive. I've heard really good things about them, but there was a couple things that they kind of bother me, but it's just it's one of those things, like if you don't like it, then don't apply, you know. It's it's just kind of like there's nothing, it's not going to change their mind, you know, they're still going to do it. So and that company was Horizon. I originally was not going to apply to Horizon. I wanted my two companies to be Bennett and Synergy, but since Bennett gave me the devastating news, I decided I would give Horizon a shot and see how they go, because I've heard that they have a pretty decent load board, especially on the backhaul side. I've heard that it's pretty good right now, which is, to me, I think is very important when you're just starting out, because it's going to help you pocket as much money as you can to, you know, kind of level out the expenses that you've had to put in so far to get into Driveaway. Guys, I have to say I'm actually super impressed with them so far. I filled out my application, and with less than an hour, I had a recruiter calling me. Apparently I had missed a couple of things on one of my employers, like a phone number and something else I can't remember. So she asked if I could go back in and fix that really quick, and so I did, and they got me like totally through the system, processed, background checked, everything within just a couple of days. I've already gone through the virtual orientation. I have my drug test scheduled. Right now it's tomorrow, but it will be Friday, this Friday coming up. So I'm pretty much set, and I'm scheduled for what they're calling my final interview and my drive test. That will be in a couple weeks. So they were actually able, they said that they had the room to get me in next week, but unfortunately I have to wait before I can do that, because I've got a doctor's appointment in the beginning of November. So yeah, I'm beyond impressed with Horizon right now. So I thought I would just go over really quick of like the orientation process, what to expect, what the requirements are. There's a couple things that kind of bother me, but again, like, if I don't like it, then don't apply, you know, because they're pretty upfront about it. Like, it's on their website. Everything that's required is on the website. Most of it. We'll get to that in a minute. But there's a couple things that you guys need to be aware of, I think, before you apply for Horizon, because I don't think it's going to be for everyone. It's not a good universal fit, and I'll explain that here in a second. Okay, so let me first start off by saying everyone that I've spoken to so far has been great. I've had zero issues. They've all been very polite, very professional. They've been speedy. You know, they're a very efficient group of people. So in that sense, they seem to be good. They have sent me information about local businesses up there that will help you, like Dan's Hitch, Elkhart Hitch, you know, things like that. If I have any equipment I need to get for the car or anything like that. They've sent me a list of like places they have discounts with, like with hotels and stuff like that. The Clearinghouse Information, basically you have to register to the Clearinghouse for like drug screens and stuff like that. Make sure you have that done. I will leave links down below, that way you guys can see the website so you can register if you haven't registered, because it's going to kind of like speed up the process if you do. Let's see, the other things, the virtual orientation, let's go over that for a second. It's pretty generic information. You guys, if you are brand new to the industry, you are probably going to have more questions after the orientation than what you do before it starts. I believe there's about 18 or 19 videos total. The first 6 are like safety oriented, like, you know, weather conditions, the proper way to turn, like turn lanes and following distances, and, you know, all just basic stuff like that. That stuff is just common sense. You should be able to get through that very quickly. But once you start getting into like more of like the commercial vehicle type of information, like logbooks and stuff like that, I kind of felt like there was, it was just very generalized. Overall, it was good. It was very easy. There was a couple of questions after each video you have to answer. It's not like a test or anything. You just answer the questions. Make sure that you understand. I'm sure if you have questions that you could talk to someone at Horizon, they would be happy to answer them. But yes, it's a very generalized information. They don't go into like intricate detail about any of it. So you guys might want to keep that in mind. You might want to do your own separate research if you have. If you don't understand logbooks, you really got to understand logbooks. Please make sure you learn about logbooks before you get started, because that is going to absolutely destroy your career if you don't know about logbooks, okay? So there's a lot of YouTube videos about logbooks. If you guys have questions, I can help as much as I can. I don't want to... I'm hesitant to make a video about it because I don't want somebody coming back and saying, oh, well, I did what you said and I got a violation and all that. I don't want any of that. I don't want a part of it. Okay, I'd be happy to answer general questions. But I'm really hesitant on making a video about logs. So yeah, orientation, very simple. I have like two cons, two small minor cons so far. So when you go through, after you apply, they approve it, and you go through the orientation process, you have to pay $195 for the orientation package or packet or whatever. I can't remember what they call it exactly. That seems kind of silly to me. I don't think that the driver should have to pay that. Or at least they should like offer like a reimbursement after being with the company for like 6 months or something. Something like that. To me, that's just kind of silly. Like, I understand that the turnover rate in this industry is like 4 bajillion %. Okay, I get that. I understand that, but like, wow, that's kind of, I don't know, that just seems weird to me. I'm always hesitant when it comes to a company making me pay for my background check and my drug test. Like, I don't know. I think that's just a personal thing. I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of weird for me. Again, that's very minor. Like, it's not a big deal. But it's just weird. It's something you guys need to be aware of, because I don't know if you guys realize that, okay? And I don't want you to like get to orientation and be surprised that you got to fork out $200 right off the bat, you know, because it's not like 100% clear on their website. Like, you've got to kind of dig through before you actually see it, okay? So keep that in mind. Number 2, just the initial impression, and I could be totally off on this, but my initial impression is that it is, they say it's not required, but it feels like that they really, really, really want you to have a tow car. And I don't know if that's because of the amount of backhauls they can get. I don't know why, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to be very non-tow car friendly, because of the required equipment they want you to have. As Driveaway, I personally don't plan on going to a state that requires chains. Like, during the winter, I don't go to those states, period. End of story. And as a Driveaway driver, if I didn't have a tow car, I don't want to be lugging around chains wherever I go. and they are requiring you to have chains. You have to have a fire extinguisher. Well, you can't fly with fire extinguishers. Okay, it's one of those prohibited, because it's, you know, compressed whatever chemical stuff is in it. Okay, so there's just a couple things you have to really keep in mind. They say tow car is not required. They recommend it, but I feel like that they should say strongly recommend, because of the amount of required equipment they expect you to have at all times. And it's going to be very difficult if you want to fly back to Indiana. It's going to be very difficult to have this all in one bag, or even two bags. Like, just some of it is just flat out prohibited on a plane, you know, so it's really limiting your options when it comes to getting back to the main terminal. Okay, so that's something else you need to keep in mind. I'm sure it can be done, and honestly, I think with Horizon, because they have quite a bit of backhauls, they have a good backhaul load board, that you're not going to have to go back to Indiana to get your next load as often. And I think that's kind of why they expect you to have all this equipment at all times. Because you're probably, you know, 100 miles away, you can go pick up your next load. You know, that kind of thing. That's my impression. That's just the initial. I don't have the experience with Horizon, so I don't know, like, how accurate that is. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's not a do all say all, I know from experience type of con. It's just my initial impression. It seems like that if you don't have a tow car, it's going to be difficult to, it's going to lessen the options you have available to get back to Indiana if you have to. Okay, tire chains they can be heavy. Of course, I'm used to ones you have to put on a semi. Okay, so I don't know if they just want you to have like a 1 pound small set of tire chains, and that's another thing. They don't, you're not allowed to chain up, so they're just doing it just so you don't get a ticket in these states. I don't plan on going to these states during the winter, you know, so I don't know if that's like something that can be worked on. I don't know, so just something to keep in mind. Like, there's a lot more, it seems like there's a lot more requirements and a lot more restrictions with Horizon than what I've seen on other websites, like with Synergy or Bennett, or even Indiana Transport, you know, the other places like that. So this is just an initial impression. Okay, this is not set in stone or anything. Okay, as we continue, as I get started with them, get through the road test and stuff, and as we get started, you know, I can give you guys a better insight on their Driveaway program. But until then, this is just an initial pros and cons kind of situation. So anyways, I am blabbering. I just wanted to give you guys an update, kind of give you guys a general idea of what to expect when you start filling out applications. And I do start with Horizon in a couple of weeks for my final interview. And is he really gonna park behind me? Oh, okay, good. He's leaving. He's leaving. I was like, I know this reefer truck is not about to park right behind me with his loud reefer. Come on, dude, what are you doing? Yeah. Okay, he's leaving. I was like, really? Of all places in this parking lot, you're gonna come park right behind me. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video kind of gives you some general insight of what to kind of expect. Like I said, I'll be starting with Horizon here in a couple of weeks. So far, my impression of Horizon is very good. They've been very on top of it. Like, literally less than an hour, they were on the phone with me, and we were processing stuff, and within 2 days, I'm done with virtual orientation. So yeah, it's been very smooth so far, so that's a good sign. We'll see if that continues. I'll keep you guys posted, and you know, we'll go through as we get closer, as we get up there and all that kind of stuff. You know, we'll keep making these videos, and I'll keep you guys updated on what to expect if you decide that Horizon is the company you want to start with or go with. So anyways, thank you guys so much. I apologize for not making a video last week. I've got some medical issues going on right now, so I've been trying to get those taken care of before I get started, and I just was not kind of in the mood to make a video. So yeah, so sorry about that. Hopefully we can kind of make it more consistent here going forward. But yes, if you guys have any questions, comments, all that stuff, just leave a comment down below, message me, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good YouTube-y stuff I know you guys are really good at. I appreciate all of the comments, all of the likes and subscriptions so far. I know there's only like, I don't know, 2 people that actually probably watch these, but it is what it is. Hopefully we can continue to build this as we move forward and we actually get started with a company. So if there's a particular video you guys would like to see here in the near future, please let me know. I'd be happy to make a video about it for you guys, so just leave that down below. Thank you guys so much. Hope everyone is staying healthy and safe, and yeah, I will see you guys next week. Thanks.